I'm gonna go ahead and start today's project review committee. Welcome. Welcome to Project Review Committee for May 7th, 2025. We're gonna start today's meeting at 1:32 p.m. I'm gonna go ahead and do roll call here for city staff, starting with myself, Oscar Cepeda, the chairperson, and also the associate planner within the planning division. Claudia Calderon also joins us as our community development director and zoning administrator. Jeff O'Neill joins us as our city planner. Also joining us is Rocio Mejia, our assistant planner, Gary Keller as our planning technician. From the engineering division, we're joined by Javier Sanchez, our engineering and project management director. From the fire department, we're joined by Clayton Dignam, our fire marshal. With the building division, we're joined by James Wickersham, our chief building official. From Public Works, we're joined by Brianna Spry, our field services superintendent with refuse. Also joining us from the Public Works Department is Joe Baeza, our field services superintendent for streets. I believe that is all from city staff, yes. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and now open oral communications. This is the opportunity for public members to address the committee on any matter related to project review. Hearing no comments from members in person, are there any members that are joining us online that would like to address the committee on any matter related to project review? Okay, hearing none, I'm gonna go ahead and close oral communications. So for today's PRC agenda, we have two items, starting with the first item, which is PRC 2025-022 for green smog. We have the applicant proposing a new commercial suite for green smog and auto repair service minor use to be located at 20 South Hawkins Street. Let me share my screen here. All right, the property is located in our downtown districts. The zoning would be downtown retail south of Olive. It has a general plan land use designation of downtown retail. As far as the use of auto repair minor in this zone district, it is a permitted use per the zoning, land use and zoning. Let me provide with the site plan. It's basically converting one of these areas into your new workplace, right? Correct. Any new signage related to the project, making sure that we comply with the Porterville Development Ordinance, particularly Section 305. And any work conducted, any work related to the use would have to be conducted inside the building. I believe any changes to the exterior of the building complying with our downtown design guidelines. Yeah, and that's pretty much our major comments from planning. With that, we'll move along with our building division with James.
Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to stop by, but we're curious on it. You were the gentleman that opened the shop down the street, right?
Yes, I'm fine, yeah.
So same thing, we were wondering if there's an exit door besides your main roll-up door there.
There will be in the building of the Minimart. That'll be my exit.
So to get to that area, you gotta go through the Minute Mart?
Yes. And all, if not the roll-up garage door,
So does that door lead in, what does that lead into? The customer area of the store or
yes.
the storage room?
the storage room.
Okay, so you can't exit through a storeroom.
Yeah,
No, the code doesn't allow for an exit through a storage area.
Okay.
and maybe we can, get with you after this and go down. And
Take a
take a look, yeah,
Okay.
we're, like Clayton said, that's how the code reads. But let's go down there and look at it with you and
See if we
see
can
if
find a
there's
solution.
another area.
Sounds good.
Maybe Mark can help out with that. You helped out on the last one down the street.
I did.
Okay. Thank you.
But other than that, would you be doing any other work in there, adding electrical, plumbing?
No.
Structural, nothing?
No, nothing to it. It's, everything's off wireless. Just need internet and a telephone, and I just plug into the LB2 and it just reads the outcome of your vehicle. There's no oil leak, well, oil, gas, nothing. I will freaking open off vehicle.
There's no intent to store any vehicles overnight inside the building?
No, sir.
Perfect.
No, sir.
Yeah, that's all.
Thank you. Next was Clayton with our fire department.
So for me, basically, it's a standard comment that projects shall comply with the latest applicable codes. Fire extinguishers shall be placed to comply with the currently adopted edition of the California Fire Code, mounted in a readily visible and accessible location, no closer than 4 inches from the floor, no higher than 48 inches to the top of the fire extinguisher. And then I have on here Knox access required. However, we may need to, we'll kind of figure out exactly when we go down there.
So right now, as I said, the owner probably doesn't want to remove everything out of that garage yet, so this sort of somewhat still.
Yeah, we just need to see, we can get a better picture once we're there looking at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you, Clayton. Next with engineering with Javier.
No comments from engineering.
Thank you, Javier. With our public works department with Brianna.
I have no comments.
Thank you. Now was next was Joe. With streets.
Comments from streets.
Thank you, Joe. So yeah, so that's all of our comments related to your application at this location. We will be providing a PRC letter outlining each department's comments. Do you have any questions at this time for the departments?
No, I don't.
But thank you, and just expect that letter to be received within about 2 weeks.
Okay.
If you could just do it there and right down here.
Thank you.
Probably won't be able to,
That's
hold it until maybe tomorrow.
That's what I like to tell people, probably ahead of just walking that on, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Mark, thank you.
Yeah, he's the one that helped out, over on the level.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Alan?
Give me a call tomorrow.
Alan?
Thank you. Thank you.
Right here. Oh, unless you're.
Thank you.
Yeah, first one. Next, we have item number 2 for today's agenda, which is PRC 2025-023, the Con Apartments. Let me share my screen here of the site plan. The applicant is proposing a multi-family residential project consisting of a total of 80 units to be located on the east side of Indiana Street near Toma Avenue. On the project proposing on 2 existing APNs, which is 252-301-030 and 031. The property is currently zoned high-density residential and also has a general plan land use of high-density residential. As far as comments from planning, the project is within the allowed density, which you can have up to 30 units per net acre. Project would have to comply with chapter 21 of the Porterville Municipal Code, which is our Porterville Development Ordinance. Making sure that we meet the minimum or architecture articulation, which looks like you do. And have the units that are fronting Indiana orientate towards Indiana, which you do provide that. There will be a requirement for minimum areas for private and open space. Just make sure you identify those areas on your submittal. Making sure your parking areas comply with 30410 of our Porterville Development Ordinance. There are minimum requirements. However, there is a California government code that if you are within a public transit stop, you're able to reduce some of your minimum parking requirements. Are you proposing any affordable housing as part of this development?
Yes, in conversations with the owners, we're looking at that 10 to 20% possibility.
Okay.
I think it's very conducive to affordable area
Oh, for
for
sure.
one, so.
So-
And then it gives us the concessions on
Correct.
parking
Correct. I was
that
gonna
you
bring
and I
that.
talked about, so I think we'll be in very good shape now.
Yes, there are some concessions and incentives the applicant may request as part of that. So we'll provide that information in the letter. Looks like you are proposing some traffic closures throughout the development. Just making sure we comply with 300.13 of the Porterville Development Ordinance in regards to design. Any fencing proposed, make sure we comply with section 300.03. You're allowed a signage as part of your multifamily development. One building mounted sign and one monument sign could be permitted. Maximum cumulative sign area of 32 square feet.
Now, trash enclosures, when I talked to Brianna sent us a letter and said we required 10.
Yeah,
Will we be able to reduce that any by going with, whatever? the code
with
does?
the concessions and incentives,
I mean, that's a
I would-
lot of trash.
I would have to loop in Brianna and maybe our city planner.
Yeah, I would assume that they're not allowed to do that using density bonus because that's based on a trickle down from Cal Recycle. So while it is a city requirement, it comes from the state. Brianna may have more to add to that, but as far as applying density bonus to reduce that, I don't think that would work. We can certainly look into it more, but off the top of my head, I doubt it.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be the standard. And it's amazing how quickly those will fill up.
Okay.
Thank you. So yeah, that's pretty much our comments from planning. With that, unless you have any questions for planning.
No, I think you and I pretty well discussed it, and then I talked with the owners, so I think we were gonna
Okay.
come well within what you're looking for.
Perfect, thank you. Next week, we'll do fire with Clayton.
So pretty standard stuff. Project comply with the latest applicable codes. Fire hydrants spaced on distance no greater than 300 feet for the multifamily residential applications. That'll be measured as the hose lays, not in a straight line or a radius. Where 2 or more hydrants are required for a project, fire hydrants shall be on a looped system. Depending on the location of existing fire hydrants and required fire flow, additional hydrants may be required. All hydrant locations shall be approved by the fire department. Fire hydrants located across a public street shall not be utilized for calculations or considered as available to meet the fire flow and/or FDC connection requirements for this project. No structure shall be greater than 400 feet from a hydrant. All hydrants must be in place and accepted by the fire department prior to any combustibles being brought onto site. Project to meet the minimum fire flow requirements per the table in Appendix B for the most recently adopted edition of the California Fire Code, which is 2022 as of this review. Fire sprinkler plans and calculations required. Underground plans shall be submitted with above ground plans. Fire alarm monitoring plans required. FDCs to be placed within 50 feet of a fire hydrant in an approved location. Where conditions permit, the FDC is to be located no closer than 40 feet from the building. Maintain 2 entry and exit points, which I put this in the standard. I know you have them now, but sometimes things get reconfigured, so I just kind of leave that in there. And they have to meet the dimension of half the diagonal distance, is separation.
I think we had original on this layout, we did have that issue, and that's why we ended up with this layout.
With this layer, yeah, and I did a measurement, and it's like, if I measure center to center, it looks like we're right on. Maintain the minimum of 20-foot roadways for the access. Fire extinguishers to meet the code, address numbers posted on the buildings, visible from the street. Installed numbers to contrast with their background. Knox box required for any community center, office, fire alarm control panel access area. And then if there are any gates proposed, we would need Knox access to the gates. So I don't know how they intend to do that with the fire alarm control panel for that stuff, but just making sure we get access to it.
Yeah, this was a completed project 20 years ago,
Mhm.
2008. And I just looked at the fire sprinkler plans and now I don't remember how to get it.
Yeah, so there's a couple of options. If they have like a community room, obviously, oftentimes what they'll do is they'll route all of the notification and everything to that central location. Alternatively, are you familiar with the Nupchi subdivision there that the tribe built? What they did there on their, some of the on the fourplexes and the fiveplex is they put individual fire alarm control panels in an air-conditioned box for each building.
Is that what they did?
Mhm.
Trying to remember. what
Yeah,
we did
so they still have the FDCs and everything out on the street next to the hydrant, but each building has a fire alarm control panel that is in an air-conditioned box.
Hmm.
So there are options out there.
Yeah.
And then I believe the main panel in their community room monitors the double detector checks or the OS and Ys. Now, if this project puts the OS and Ys above ground, they'll have to be monitored. If they put them below ground, like in a vault, they will not. So that's some options.
Yeah, well, we don't have a community room on this. We don't have.
Yeah,
at all,
so looking at that, I would suggest underground so they don't have to be monitored, and then
Right.
just each building or two buildings can have, have connection underground to each other for the fire alarm and sprinkler monitoring.
Right.
So, and that's it for me. You have any questions? Any other questions?
No.
Okay.
Thank you. Next with James.
Can you go back to the site plan?
The site plan.
So we just want to make sure that is those parking stalls, Mark, are those,
They're
18?
The one
or 20 feet?
No, they're 9, all of them are 9 by 20.
20.
Yeah, I didn't do any 18s. I didn't even do any compact. They're all standard.
So then we would want, bumper stops so that the front of the vehicles don't,
I'm gonna kind
Hang
of leave
over.
that until we get to grading. I don't know what our grades, we may end up with a curb. And then they'll pull into the curb, so we may fatten the walkway 2 feet.
right,
And then they'll go into the walkway, or we'll do the bump. I hate bumpers because you'll end up with that trash area between the bumper and the sidewalk. So if we can, and
I
it all
guess-
depends on grading.
yeah, I guess our comment is just to make sure that the,
Oh, no.
that the front bumpers don't hang over that walkway.
Agreed.
And any other comment would be, so on each building, are you gonna have an adaptable unit, accessible unit on each building?
Actually, yes, I have one adaptable on each building. And we've got 10. So I
Yes.
actually have 10 adaptable.
Cause going back to the site plan, Oscar, to the trash enclosures, you can't run like horizontal with the drive aisle, with the accessible route.
Oh, back here.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
you can't send somebody down the path of travel in the drive aisle without a barrier.
Speed bump? Is that what you mean?
Like parallel, right?
Yeah, like, you have a site plan on paper, Mark?
Yeah, I could show
So like, between this trash enclosure and this trash
Uh-huh.
enclosure, you can't send somebody in the same vehicle path. So it would be ideal if you could just go here and back,
Oh, I copy you.
and here and back, and then just not have this at all.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
no, yeah. I can get some
Yeah.
arrangement on that, absolutely. No,
That way you're
I
not
see what you're
hitting
saying.
anybody with the vehicle traffic.
Well, I thought that way to get towed, you know, you get the jack, with it, then we'll go in. Yes, okay, I understand what you're saying.
And that. Yeah, that's just from what I see, just on the site plan, that's all the comments I'd have.
Thank you, James. Next with engineering with Javier.
Right, for engineering, what we're looking at was the frontage improvements. So because of the classification of Indiana and and then our new standards, it require a widened parkway and then a wider sidewalk as well. So that would have to come out. The street lights may have to get relocated up towards the curb. But like all those vents you see with Edison, they'd be in the landscaped area and then the sidewalk behind it.
So what you knew, that's a relatively new curb gutter and sidewalk. That thing's not more than 3 or 4 years old. So you're wanting to pull the sidewalk, make that a planter and then put the sidewalk beyond that?
Right. Yeah, no, that was done back in, oops, 2009, 2010.
The sidewalk curb and gutter?
Yeah,
It was done with the road widening.
yeah, that was with the CMAC project, if I recall.
And so your zoning or your codes have changed since then now? To where you want a landscape area and then the sidewalk?
It's been that way since 2010.
Just after this. Okay.
Yeah, so that would be, that's the main comment from engineering is reworking the frontage, and then just extending utilities to the interior.
Yeah, we've got a plan on that too. I think they were putting in a transformer and stuff like that. I don't remember originally, but yes. Everything was getting mixed.
Yeah, and as far as the drainage, I don't know if you plan to hold some on site or if you're trying to get it out to the street.
I think Gary, with the drainage that was done in 2008, 2009, actually did DIs and carried everything out to the storm drain. I have to go back and look, because I've got the plans originally 2008 when they were gonna submit and then the crash hit and it was like everything stopped, so. Here we are again, 20 years later.
Yeah, yeah, so we'll look at the,
We don't have to retain on site, do we?
you do have to retain a minimal amount, which similar to the other apartments you did, so it's either gonna be a landscape swell areas or pervious concrete area. And so there'll have to be some calculations to determine that. And
Between the units that, I believe there's gonna be enough room there between the units, we could do the swales within there.
Mhm.
There's plenty of room, I've got 20 feet between units. Which units are those?
yeah, so it looks,
Was that
On Cassie. Yeah.
there's a DI at Putnam in Indiana where it's likely going. So we'll just need to look at some the drainage calcs to make sure that that's gonna make its way out there. That's what engineering has.
Thank you, Javier. Um. Again, with, going back with, Public Works with Brianna for refuse, any other comments? On the
No,
project?
No, I have no other comments.
Thank you. Next with Joe, with streets.
No comments from streets.
Thank you. So yes, those are all comments from staff, at this time, based off today's application. Does the applicant have any additional questions at this time for staff?
No, I think, our pre-meetings, which I appreciate, helped us out immensely. I think we're good. Everything's green light. There's a few cautionary things that we need to look at. But I think this gives us the green light to work.
Thank you. As stated on the previous project, we'll be compiling a letter with each department's, comments based off the project, and expect that to be in about 2 months.
Okay, fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, so with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end today's project review committee meeting at 1:58 PM. Thank you.
Will that be real estate?